Hello there, folks. So I wanted to do a little video to show some people about some of the stuff I've been talking about a bit on Facebook and LinkedIn recently. So for those of you who don't know, I'm an event organizer running a conference called Upstart, and there's been a lot of stuff happening in my world right now because of COVID-19, and I've been talking a bit about how I believe actually we're in quite a fortunate position in many ways in terms of the tools and resources available digitally for event organizers. I made a list for some people of a whole range of different tools and services specifically for conferences and tools that help event organizers basically go virtual with their conferences. And I'll share that in the comments below. But this is one that I stumbled across today, which was really cool. It was called Laval Virtual, so I signed up for a free ticket, and it looks like I missed most of the conference, but I am just in time for some of the after stuff, so I thought I would just log in and demo this a little bit to people, because I think perhaps some people don't realize how immersive these environments can be, and this is a little bit experimental. It's kind of a virtual world environment where you can actually walk around, so I downloaded a bit of software to my Mac. My mic is off here, so you basically kind of get dumped in this sort of lobby, and if you kind of listen to some of the people, there's like people from all over the world here chatting away, and you can kind of walk around in a virtual environment. It's pretty epic, actually. I presume there's like an agenda somewhere. I think I missed some of the main talks for the day, but there was some stuff happening over here, so let's have a little look. You can kind of join into these groups and hear what individuals are actually saying, so let's go to this one.
Interesting.
I thought I would mention that.
In fact,
Hello.
that this is what is going to happen, that most of the unique art are going to be digitized. And I'm sure you guys should check out the iPad Pro, which has LiDAR scanner.
I really want to see that, because I was wondering how long it's going to take before, these conferences we actually look like ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was in where was I? I was at the Sundance Film Festival, and there was a Korean artist who's doing a very interesting VR piece. And when you go into the room, the first thing you do is you sit down, and you don't know that it's happening, but they scan your face. And then as you're experiencing the piece, at some point at the very end, you're seeing yourself
3D avatar.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So that's why I don't really understand why the technology, why it hasn't been implemented into these conference spaces.
Yeah, because yesterday I met one guy, Dan from VR Days.
There's a guy driving around
he chose a bald
kind of
avatar,
or boat.
and when I went to his profile picture on LinkedIn, he actually looks like Kenny G. And
so I'm going to stand
he
up.
said he couldn't.
So I'm going to go and try and find someone to have a little one-on-one chat with. They seem really engaged in conversation, so let's see if I can find someone. Hello? It's quite a big range of international people in this event, so it's quite hard to find someone who speaks my language. Let's see. I mean, it's good in a virtual event. You can basically just run from A to B. I think you'd kind of look a bit like a weirdo if you did that in a real conference, but it's quite a productive way of getting around. Where's everybody? Okay, let's go to the beach and see. I think there were some people over here when I last came. And the thing that struck me with these events, I mean, this is a very novel concept in the sense that it's a virtual world. But that said, after novelty wears off, you actually kind of tune into some of these conversations, and they're actually really interesting. Let's have a look at this one.
The Skype call.
Hello.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, I'm back again.
Yes, you're back again.
I think I missed a bit of the intro earlier. I wondered, you mentioned you did something with autism, I think you were saying, but I didn't quite catch the first part of that.
Oh, okay, yes. So we teach film training, film and media skills for young people trying to get into the film industry. There's a lot of feedback on the mic.
Oh, sorry, I turned that off. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. So we teach practical media skills for people who wouldn't normally go against the film industry, but who are creative and show a creative drive. So most of us will be up on the spectrum. Some have got social anxiety and mental health, or a combination, or some just can't afford it because they don't live in central London, because they're from other parts of the UK. And we have an EU contract to deliver that throughout Kent, outside of London, but also that's broadened into Essex and Sussex now. Now COVID-19, we're allowed to do it online. We're looking at moving that into this VR world because just having spoken to Tim and Robert, who are both my students, who've come through my program already, about finding this sort of environment shows more promise.
That's awesome, man. Super exciting. I guess I'm kind of probably in similar respects, scoping out this kind of technology as well. I'm an event organizer in Sweden, running a tech startup conference, and yeah, I mean, how did you hear about this event? I just saw someone on Facebook today post a link, and I pretty much missed most of the conference, I think, so far, but I managed to come in. But like, how did you guys find out about this?
Well, they found out through me, and how I found out is I went to an L3 Studios thing, which is in London, for immersion production companies. It's like a boot camp, and they were saying they're really pushing people towards VR in the UK creative industry. And one of them, they have this sort of boot camp for not startups, for people already in the film industry with money to move across, and they weren't really interested in us because we're not that sort of catchment. But when COVID-19 hit, they cancelled those workshops to do VR and XR, and they then said there aren't any workshops. We can't do VR workshops because of COVID-19. And then they started posting links of where else you could get support. And one of those links that I looked at, another website in the UK, talked about this conference. And basically, it was about 2 days before the conference started, I found out about it. So I signed up.
Oh, sorry, I was just putting my mic back on. Yeah, that's super cool, man. That's really interesting. Like, I don't understand it, but is it like Laval Virtual are the guys that actually run this? Are they powering this kind of VR software? Is that like a company that's using the software?
Yeah. Yeah, there's two, right? So Laval Virtual is the company powering the software. The conference is organised by they call themselves AR/VR conference. So this has been an annual conference. I've never been to it before. An annual conference that happens every year, not put on by Laval. It's an AR/VR conference held in Paris. So I went to the talks about it, and normally people would travel into Paris and pay money to go on this conference. But because of COVID-19, they spent 2 weeks trying to find an alternative, or building up, but they spent longer probably trying to find an alternative. And then they found this platform as being the best one to get a wider number of participants in such a short space of time. And then they spent the 2 weeks before the conference started on Wednesday just getting it all ready and building this environment.
It's really impressive. I think what struck me immediately was that with basically no training whatsoever, you just kind of get dumped in this space. But then it was quite intuitive. Like, I felt like, I'm a fairly techie guy, I guess, but like I felt, you just kind of walked around and first I did a bit of exploring, but then you get stuck into quite like meaningful conversations quite quickly, I think. And I think that's something that struck me with some of these virtual tools. I thought many of them were maybe a bit more gimmicky than actually doing any business, but or actually getting any value out of it. But I think it's been quite the opposite. I think it's really interesting how intuitive this is.
Yeah, I've found that as well. I came the night before the conference started, just to see how I could get into the interface in case there's any tech issues. There was quite a few people here the night before, just exploring the space. So actually, I started networking early, not by deliberately, but it started happening straight away. As soon as I arrived, turn your mic on, or people start talking to you. And I found this, because I've been to quite a few normal conferences, physical ones in London and stuff. And this has been so productive for us for networking. It's unbelievable. How quickly people want to network here. Almost instantly.
Yeah, I've been saying to people. Yeah, I've been saying to people, like, I think it's interesting with the whole digital thing, because I think a lot of event organizer friends I know have been sort of quite doom and gloom, like, okay, we can't run events now, cancel the event. And I've taken a sort of different angle, really, in terms of my thinking is, well, okay, this situation sucks for the world, right? But I mean, this has opened a path to the whole online world. And in terms of conferences, I've run a conference now for 5-6 years, and people kind of wander around with business cards and just hope to bump into each other. With a conference like this, you can really zone in on people, and there's so many different shapes and flavors. Like I was in one the other day called I think it's called Remo, that was like a round table type discussion thing, and there's a lot of value to be had from them, but I think actually even is better than the physical events. So it's not all doom and gloom for event organisers, I think, at the moment. So.
Yeah. Well, one that they said that the closing keynote, I don't know if you attended that, they said they had a lot more international people at this conference than they've ever had before, and a lot more attendees than they've ever had before. I think the sad thing is that, the guy that runs the conference was saying, I look forward to seeing you all. Oh.
Sorry,
Are you there?
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button and ended up rudely walking through you, I think.
You pressed the wrong thing and you walked through someone. He said, I'll see you again next year in Paris in physical presence. And I think, what a missed opportunity. Because after they just acknowledged that they've got so many more people from all around the world that wouldn't normally be able to attend this event, they're going to do a physical conference next year. I think, personally, they probably should do a bit of both. Rather than go, okay, COVID-19's finished.
That's really interesting. I've actually been thinking a lot about that myself, because in terms of, obviously, you think to the future. I mean, right now I'm thinking, so this year we're going to run a virtual event for my event in Sweden. But the sort of long-term thinking is, well, where do we go? And it depends a lot on the world and how like viruses develop and things like that as well. But I mean, there is a potential for a hybrid, and I think that event organisers could use this as a way to essentially build a massive audience, like it's way more international than ever before. And then suddenly do, like you described, these hybrids. I mean, you basically can get guys and girls with video cameras going around streaming content. And take my event, we do a lot of stuff with investors and startups, like matchmaking. So I mean, like we're in Uppsala, and we can get a lot of people around Sweden and a few people flying in. But with virtual, we can get San Francisco, London, and have a massive audience internationally. So I think the hybrid thing is actually quite interesting. If the world gets back on its feet soon, then I think you'll see a lot of these more hybrid events popping up.
The feedback's coming through quite badly there. Just giving me an idea, because we train people up in camera skills and framing and stuff, and lights and all that, and we're aiming to create a VR film training school. But it strikes me as actually you might, somebody else actually said that there would be an increased demand for people with those real world physical creative skills to then apply those in the virtual arena. So there might be opportunities for some of our young people to help start their careers by doing camera work for your conferences.